Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Manarino, back for my post-market wrap-up for this lovely day, Tuesday, January 9th, 2018. People, I got a lot to talk about. The closing bell went off about 3 seconds ago, but I'm not exaggerating here. The bond market was a bloodbath today. It did not bounce. And stocks finished well off of their highs, despite the fact that we're at new record highs. This issue with the bond market is huge. Not only is it huge, it's actually getting attention from the mainstream financial channels. And this guy, Bill Gross, this guy, multi-billionaire hedge fund manager, he's known as the bond king. He's warning today about the bond market. You know, it makes me actually feel kind of good when I got a guy like that backing up what I have been trying to tell people for the longest time. So I think we need to pay attention here. Now, let's talk a little bit further here again. So today, stocks were off to the races early on, despite the sell-off in the bond market. And I believe that market participants, myself included, expected this to turn around sometime during the day. It did not turn around sometime during the day today. As a matter of fact, I bought AIG today. Look, I'm down a little bit on my AIG trade today, but you're never going to get in or out of a position at the absolute best. So I don't care right now what's going on with AIG. Now, Bank of America, I'm still holding it. Cut my losses there almost in half already. So I'm gonna see if I can turn that around as well. So I'm still holding these two positions, and with regard to AIG, I did post it on all my social networks when I entered that position. It seems like some of you are just so overly anxious, I would imagine, to get in or out exactly when I do. It doesn't matter. Look, I did not get in at the best price today on AIG. But I did say I bought March in the money calls. The strike price doesn't even matter either. Look, you always got to do your own little bit of work here and adjust your risk tolerance. So, I mean, just for example, before I proceed, the deeper in the money, the less risk. It's that simple. So just follow that rule. Mine are in the money. They're just in the money. That's kind of where I like to buy, so I can balance my risk and reward there. And I watch my trades all day long. I sit in front of my trading screen all day. This is all I do. Maybe a little different for those of you out here that don't trade full time. So you got to figure out what's going on. But let's go back to Bill Gross and this insane bond market today that the mainstream could not ignore. So this is a big deal, people. If Bill Gross is right, if Bill Gross today called the top of the bond market. Now, I don't know how many of you out here remember Bill Gross, maybe a month or so ago, said we were at the top for the stock market, and I disagreed with him at that point. I am not smarter than you, Mr. Gross. If you're watching this video, you might. I don't know. But I'm not saying you got that call wrong, although it turned out to not be right. But with regard to the bond market, and this being, the top, and we could see some sell-offs going on worse than today, you might actually be correct here, Bill Gross. I respect you immensely. I really do. I think you're one of the smartest guys on the streets. True. I've watched your work for many years. I actually feel like I'm talking to you right now. So anyway, if you are listening to this, Bill Gross, I would love to talk to you. So get in contact with me. All right, let's get back to reality here because Greg went off the deep end, as usual. So look, the fact of the matter is the debt market is a bomb. It's a time bomb. It's waiting to go off. It's going to go off. It's just a matter of what central banks are going to do. Now, again, I fully expected, and I admit this right here, that today we were going to see this turn around. We were going to see that bond market turn around. There were several points today where it looks like they tried to turn it around. It didn't work. So if this continues over the next day or so, we are going to see pressure on stocks, and it could be profound. So we need to watch this, people. Again, keep this in mind. The bond market is a time bomb waiting to go off. When it goes off, every single asset across the spectrum is going to correct to fair value. It's going to feel like, and I'm not saying this is going to happen now, I'm talking about when it does happen, it's going to feel like a stock market crash unlike anything we've ever seen in the history of the world. But it's not going to be a crash at all. It's going to be the market doing its one and only job, and that is to declare or find fair value. When you got world central banks doing what they're doing now for a decade, nothing is real. And when you sit there and you watch the mainstream financial channels and their gleeful commentators talking about how, oh, everything is just great and it's perfect, you know, they know what's going on. Again, I know some of these people. I know some of these people on the mainstream channels. Whether they admit they know me is a whole different ballgame, but the fact of the matter is they're not that stupid. And they just got to sit there and just, you know, read scripts for the most part and blow sunshine up the crack of the market, because that's what they're there to do. They're cheerleaders. They got to get everyone excited. So when they're starting to talk about bond market action, and you've got guys like Bill Gross here, you know, saying, hey, you know what, we got a problem here. Well, we'll have to see how that plays out. But let me explain this to you. Tomorrow, if we do not see this bond market starting to get bought up, there's going to be a problem. Tomorrow, this is the truth. And I'll take my positions here and I'll start shorting this market big time. No doubt about it. So let's see here if Bill Gross is correct. Last time when he called the top of the stock market, I said publicly that I did not believe he was correct. He was not correct. This time I am not so sure. I would love to hear from some of you. Let's take a vote here and let's get some posts. Who believes right now that the Federal Reserve is actually done manipulating the bond market? Do you think right now they're going to allow the bond market to sell off? Think about what would happen. Bond market sells off. Rates will rise rapidly, just like they did today. This will put pressure on stocks. We will get a simultaneous sell-off. Bonds, stocks, cash will move into commodities. That's the way I see it. That's the way I've been saying it's going to go. But besides that, who believes the Federal Reserve? By a show of hands, and then with a little comment, okay? Who believes the Federal Reserve is about to let this market go free fall? I'm not really convinced of that, especially in light of the president, who's using it as a political tool now. They might want to hurt this guy. The one way they could make sure that Trump really and sincerely gets hurt here is to allow the market to correct to a fair value. What is that fair value? The Dow Jones Industrial Average is probably less than half of what it is today. Think of what that would mean for you, your investments, for the economy, and what it would mean for President Donald Trump. All right, with that said, I'm going to let you all go. I can't stress this enough, people. Watch that bond market. Take a second of your day. In the description of this video, there's a link to my website. Have a look at that bond market chart just under the chat room. I promise you, you won't believe what you see there. It was a bloodbath. Now, a couple other things, just real quick. I know there's a lot of people into cryptocurrencies. I added 2 new charts to my website. One is the cryptocurrency Steam, which I happen to like. The other one is Ripple, and you can find that first page, bottom center. Go have a look at that. But more importantly, because this is going to affect cryptocurrencies as well, look at that bond market chart. And I want to know what you think of that too. Please post here what you think of that chart. And again, what do you think? Is the Federal Reserve done? Are they about to let the market go into free fall to hurt President Trump, or to finally, because this is what their plan is, foster the wealth transfer? That's all that's going on here, people. Cash is going to move from one person's reality, or most people's reality, into the reality of just a few. As they short the market, people are going to be stuck in their 401ks and everything else. I don't know. We're going to have to see, and time will tell over the next couple of days. And Bill Gross here, if he is correct, we all got big problems. Well, those of us that are stuck on the long end, I'm going to short this market like you have no idea. It would be out of control. And that's what you should do as well if you are a trader. Bet against that debt, become your own central bank. And now might actually be the time to do it, people, because, again, the debt market, the dollar is a unit of debt as well. What would it mean for the dollar? Melt down. All right, with that said, I'll see you tomorrow. Over now.